You're off the clock, man.
No need to worry.
Yo, could I give you guys like 5? Hey, can you tell me the time, please?
No, fuck. No, fuck.
Excuse me?
He's scared though.
Oh shit!
You got punch, homie.
My bad.
Oh my god!
Chicken tenders or chicken nuggets?
Jesus Christ.
Hi. How's it going?
Your stuff back and as well as your copy.
I like the lady that did the Wakanda salute to protect herself.
Right. And I would be that guy to jump to. I would be such I don't know. I'm not on edge, but like those things just really take me for like advantage. I had to tell my youngest to stop it.
No, were they doing that kind of stuff to you?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
like,
I mean, it just really. I don't know. It's weird because I don't consider myself like on edge all the time, but at the same time, I get caught like that. What's up, Doug?
Yeah, man, that was fun. Sometimes you jump in with the some of the Karen stuff, and sometimes that's a little rough. But let's
watch it again.
That was funny. That was funny.
You're off the clock, man.
No need to worry.
Yo, could I give you guys like 5? Hey, can you tell me the time, please?
No, fuck. No, fuck.
Excuse me?
He's scared though.
Oh shit!
You got punch, homie.
My bad.
Oh my god!
Chicken tenders or chicken nuggets?
Jesus Christ.
Hi. How's it going?
Hi.
Yeah.
Hopefully
it wasn't too big a fine. So,
well, I started pre-gaming with Ale Asylum's Nebula, Neon Nebula. It's kind of old, hazy double IPA. Tasting great actually, even though it's kind of old.
So I'm going to start with so tonight, just to forewarn everybody, I'm going to do very weird flavors in all of my beers. So I'm going to start off with something really odd: chai whoopie pie brown ale.
Okay,
we're going to go with something really weird right off the bat.
Are you a chai person, first of all?
I am not. I am a whoopie pie person. No, I love whoopie pies. So this could be. I have no idea where any of this is going to go tonight because I've not had any of these before. And yeah, here we go.
Well, have you made any friends? And this is a serious question. Have you made any friends during the pandemic?
Well, that's a weird one to say because the only people I talk to are online. I don't.
Right.
I don't hang out with anybody except my wife, and I think
Correct.
she's fed up with me at this point. But I can't blame her. That's for sure.
Right. So,
man.
Yeah. After you finish that, I'll explain why I asked that.
Yeah. So super chai smell right on the nose. Like,
I'm not a chai guy, so
I'm generally not either. But
this would be.
They had a whoopie pie name, and I wouldn't have grabbed it if it was just chai stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
So, in the beginning, in the palate, it's the chocolate whoopie pie stuff. Not a lot of the cream flavor, but I wouldn't expect that to be because that's generally like icing or even like a soft cream. And then the chai finishes off. It's actually really, really quite nice. I'm surprised. I was expecting it to be like I'm gonna have to dump that off on the side, but no, that's really tasty. Got the good, nice caramel color for the brown ale.
Nice. Cool. All right, that's positive.
I'm gonna have the real judge have some over here. So,
but the chai is not too pronounced.
No, it's on the nose. It's really good, but like it's more of a nice flavor after the whoopie pie flavor, I think.
Excellent. Well, the reason I asked you if you've made any friends during the pandemic because our guest is actually one person I met during the pandemic. Or maybe 2 or 3, but one. Rebecca Jaworski, I met her through when I was doing remember I was doing like what was it? I can't even remember now. Meet My Friends with Daddy Porter. This is like last year.
Yeah.
And we're doing business. I was doing a business side, and I talked to some people from the Wisconsin Brewers Guild, and Rebecca was one of them. And after that, we pretty much started talking online. And her husband is Carrie, who we had on last year. So I kind of knew her adjacent, but her and I started talking online, and I don't know, she's just a friend of mine. It's just cool. And it's just cool being able to say that I've added a friend during the pandemic when it's a rare thing given the dynamics of the whole pandemic. You know?
I'm just trying to think of. I think I've reached out more online to people that I was always, even like maybe it's more like if there's people I was kind of more tangentially friends with, but not really close. I think I've had a few of those where it actually has, gotten a little more. Again, it's not like you can't hang out with them in person, so it's not quite the same. But I have a couple friends that I met from Michigan that I talk to on Twitter every day, and they're really good folks, and I really enjoy talking to them. But that's probably two that I would say that. But yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I can call Ariana now, Fred. Ariana Bradford.
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah.
I remember when I said something about bringing her on, you were like, who? And I was like, this person. And then
great. She's fucking great.
Also, she has a Patreon coming out for her new channel and stuff. So everybody go and look at that shit because you won't be disappointed.
Yep. And I'm going to get to my first beer of the stream because that one was just
warm up.
You know this brewer and you know this beer.
Mm-hmm.
Giant Jones.
Oh, the American barley wine. Yeah.
You've had this one, right? I can't remember what you've been saying.
I can't remember. You gave me the Burton Ale, and I think you gave me that one.
Or was it the triple?
No, it's a triple. You're right. I didn't have the American barley wine. You're
right. I got this, and they did a long story shorter, they did a fundraiser, and it was like you got 30 cookies and 4 Giant Jones beers, and they gave you a pairing for them and all that. So I didn't really do all that. Actually, what we did is my house, we took the cookies and we cut them in 4 ways because we got 4 people here, and we all just talked about the different cookies and which one we liked. And now we're going to support the places that we like the cookies from. So fantastic. Again, those ladies are on point, not only with their beer, but with their initiatives. And I know Rebecca knows them, so we'll get into that too. We're going to get Rebecca on here real soon after I indulge in this wonderful, oh my goodness, Giant Jones.
What's the ABV on that?
Okay, so we got,
because every barley wines are different depending on what the style is.
So it's let's see, what does it say there?
Is that 11? I can't read it.
Yeah, it's come on now. Yeah, it was bottled on February 1st.
Oh,
and it's 11%.
Nice. Right glass for it too. Look at you.
Man, you make friends everywhere you go. Gee, you're a very likable man. Well, thank you. I don't know who that is, but
Danny Mercer said that.
They deserve something. Danny deserves something. Thanks, Danny. This is, oh my goodness, it's so smooth at the end for 11%. This is a sessionable barley wine. Makes sense, Doug?
That's not something you hear very often in conjunction with each other.
Well, session in the fact that you could probably have more than one, which is
yeah, you could.
Or you could fool yourself into having more than one. So with that being said, I'm going to sip on this, and then I got another big one too later. So we're going to pull Rebecca on here. Yes. Hello.
Welcome, Rebecca.
How you doing?
Thanks.
We're working on our intros. We're still bad at it, but we're going to get better.
That was hilarious. That would scare the shit out of me. That mannequin.
I would squeal so bad if that happened to me. I'd eek like all
I probably would like smack like reactionary like.
What was this one?
Oh yeah,
the Wakanda one just fucking that floored me. Or the lady that went fuck no fuck. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish there, but okay.
I probably would have cussed, right? Rebecca, what's in the glass?
I have got tequila and grapefruit. Oops.
We have not had anybody have tequila on our show, I don't think.
This is
Took
the
the words right out
tequila.
of my mouth. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
We love tequila. We drink a lot of tequila and grapefruit. It's just like so refreshing and just makes us feel kind of like beachy and I don't know.
Aw.
Makes us disappear into the warmth.
So do you don't view that as like being like a summer drink? Or are you just doing it to put you in the mindset of summer?
We honestly drink it all the time, no matter what the weather is like. And it might be to transport us to somewhere warm, but we just really like it. I love tequila. And I know, like, I used to hate tequila. I grew up, doing shots of Cuervo and then you Ralph and everyone's like, tequila. But it's obviously everything you had before the tequila and the tequila.
Yeah.
But now we drink tequila all the time. Carrie really likes mezcal, which I don't. It's pretty smoky.
Ooh, I like mezcal.
Yeah, I like some.
So this is everybody calls me a beer snob, but really though, Doug, I'm a tequila snob because I won't touch anything less than añejo.
Yeah.
I need it smoked in a barrel or whatever. They put it in a barrel. Sometimes it tastes smoky, but more it's just like that barrel taste. But that barrel takes off all of that, like the reason. Well, I'm not saying the reason you drink it with grapefruit, probably like grapefruit, but the reason you probably do is to take off that edge of like sometimes that edge has the end where añejo is just like I just don't.
You can sip it.
I could swirl it in my mouth.
Yeah.
People are like, "What tequila? Yes, tequila." I'm not talking about Jose or any low level. I'm talking about seriously $70, $60 a bottle. Ask the lady here. She had it's Blanco Respirado and the Añejo. She had some really good Respirado in the house, and I was like, no. And then so then she's like, well, we don't have any. So last week she's like, we don't have any tequila, and I'm like, well, if you bring in any Respirado or Blanco, I ain't drinking that. She's like, okay, I'll find some Añejo. Like I'm really bad about that. Like I love it though. I mean, it's just great, but it took me a while. I gotta go up to that tequila to Añejo to figure that out. What's up, Doug?
I'm raising my hand for a question because I am a dunce when it comes to tequila. So añejo, does that mean it's smoked or barreled?
So there are three levels. There's Blanco, there's Respirado, and then there's Añejo. Añejo is for me the top, and it's all barrel aged, Doug. So they put it in a barrel. In order to get that Añejo name, you have to put it in a barrel. From what I know, comments tell me if I'm wrong. And then I think Respirado is a little bit more distilled than Blanco. I think Blanco is made and then just put out. And then Respirado, they do a little bit more like distilling to it. And then Añejo, they put it in the barrel. Rebecca, am I wrong?
I think you're right. I'm not an expert, but I mean, this one is just the Blanco, so there's really not a ton of flavor. But I was in Puerto Vallarta. It's been a long time ago. But we went to like a tequila farm and we went on a tour and we did like zip lining, all kinds of crazy shit. But at the end, we did a tasting and it was just like little glasses like this with just a little bit, just like you would do a bourbon tasting or flight.
Right.
And it was all premium tequila that you sip. And I was just like, what? What?
Right.
But it was so delicious. So incredibly delicious. And it just changed my world around a little bit to be like, okay, I need to research what these different types are and try them. And Carrie.
What's up, Carrie? Yes. Starting off high. That's Doug's MO on the show.
Yeah,
I know it does.
Right. And actually the one I just poured, the first one I had was 8.5, and that's the lowest one I have.
Oh my God.
Right.
So you said that beer. Oh, go ahead.
No.
No, what do you have to say?
Doug, I was just going to ask about that beer that you have. What did you like it? Because you don't like chai.
What was funny is on the nose, the chai was like really present on the nose, and then you drink it, and it's the chocolate whoopie pie flavor. And then the chai comes in on the end. So the chai wasn't overpowering. So it's perfect for that. It's just like a nice blend of it. And it just, what's cool is the flavors are, layered. So it's good. I'm surprised that I like that.
I'm surprised you like it too.
Yeah. And well, I will say that particular brewery is called Warhorse. and I've had multiple of their beers. Greg, I've had their Scotch Ale. Their Scotch Ale is one of the best Scotch Ales I've ever had. They're in upstate New York. I'm not exactly sure where. Geneva, New York. I'm not exactly sure where that is. But they do most of their stuff is like this. Most of their cans are like old newspaper clipping kind of look. So they have a lot of stuff like that. But I mean, I think I've only had one beer there that I didn't like. So anyway, that was good.
That font looks very
Drew-
Dogfish Head. E.
Yeah. Yes.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, especially the font.
The different sizes and stuff. Yeah, the font specifically looks very Dogfish.
Oh, look at all the faces on that. Damn. So Daniel agrees with you, Rebecca, about Epsilon.
Oh.
So amazing in cocktails.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah. Extra añejo. I'm not sure. I would
I don't think I've
love.
ever had that.
That sounds really damn good.
Sounds
so
really
Daniel's such a straight hit. Respirado's 2 months up to a year in the barrel. And añejo's 1 to 2. And then extra añejo's beyond that.
It's extra.
Well, damn.
Daniel's like the fountain of knowledge. Every time we have questions, he knows all the shit about booze and like.
You know that. Yes.
Well, Greg, you might like Reposado. If it is barrel aged, even if it's 2 months, you might like it. Have you ever tried a Reposado?
Yeah, but actually, now that Daniel pointed that out, I probably need to go back and do some Respirados. And maybe I was wrong being so dismissive of the Respirado that was in.
Maybe you just haven't had the right Respirado.
I just have this vision of you like trying it and spitting it out and being like, swill.
Right. This comes from a guy who used to drink a Jose. Anybody here eat that stupid worm and then have to miss 2 days of work?
No.
That was me. I've done all that stuff. Do you guys ever drink that worm?
Hell no.
Don't.
Hell no.
Tequila and I do not have a good history. It was one night in college. I drank, I think, an entire bottle of it, and I was a wreck for like 3 days. And ever since, for like 20 years, I couldn't even smell it. Like it was one of those kind of things.
Wow.
And now I'm at a point where I can have it in. I can't do like shots of it and all that. That I can't do, but I can do cocktails.
Do you have a liquor like this, Rebecca, where you just can't do it anymore?
Goldschlager.
That's the lady in the house. No
Goldschlager. I drank so much Goldschlager and probably Bud Light in a can at a Third Eye Blind concert in Louisville, and it was so bad. I tried to get on stage and got kicked out. And this is before cell phones, okay? So like I'm out on the curb, and my friends had to come find me. I threw up all the way home, out the car door on my arm, just real classy.
Wow.
So that's it. No more Goldschlager after that.
The lady of this house threw up Goldschlager through her nose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, right, and that's why I was like, "Whoa, Goldschlager!" And that's because, in my opinion, that shit goes down too easy. Like once you start going, it's one of those things where you're just like, "Oh, whatever," and then.
Yeah. Well, and people would be like, they'd come back from the bar. Like I think there was one dude that kept buying it all, like, here's shots for everybody. And a few smart people were like, no, thanks. And I'm like, I'll do it. Burp, burp.
Right.
I got to get up on stage,
the things we do when we're young.
Oh, yeah. I was fresh 21-year-old. Dumbass.
Right. But at the end of the day, though, you are a beer person for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you how did you jump into a job that I really like, which was the Wisconsin Brewers Guild, and that's where we met. How did you make that? I mean, I know you got connections, but I don't know. I didn't, I don't know if anybody you want to jump on that a little bit.
Yeah, I worked at Isthmus for 2 years, which is a alt paper here that's still around, but it's changing. I think they're going to be, or they might currently be nonprofit. But I did sales there, and they did huge beer festivals, and a lot of our accounts were breweries because there's so many local breweries. So I had really good clients, and sponsors that worked with Isthmus for our events that were breweries and distributors. So like General Beverage was one of my big customers. So I mean, beer was just like around me every which way. And then Carrie at the time worked for Lakefront. Excuse me, worked for Lakefront Brewery. Carrie, and then went to Third Space. So yeah, and then like I had met Fred Swanson, who is so great. We did a series at Isthmus that I was part of that was called Behind the Brews, that was sponsored by Hopcat. So Hopcat was a big client, and they were super fun to work with. And then Fred was one of our hosts, and so we would go to breweries, and we'd hear. I was like typing everything they were saying, so I really got into everyone's history. The breweries that the guys were interviewing, I was kind of like capturing, making sure we're not missing anything. So I was like really absorbing the story and just falling in love with everyone. And the beer scene is just so rich with stories, such great stories, and so many different backgrounds. And it's just so interesting. I mean, Tommy Porter was my favorite interview as far as like I was sitting on the floor, just my computer was in my lap, and I was just watching them and recording, like typing everything they said. And we got a tour of his home that he built himself, and he collects guitars, so we got to see all his fancy guitars, and that was really badass, and just stuff you don't know about these people that were really pioneers. So that's kind of like I had all that background, and then
so it was just a natural shift. What's up, Doug?
All right, so you got into that, and what was the most? This is going to sound kind of like a little bit about. What was the most surprising thing you learned through that experience? You didn't expect, and you were like, "Oh, I didn't really think that was part of the scene, or whatever." It could be
about
anything.
Just beer in general.
Beer, brewers, whatever thing you just kind of struck you as just being something you didn't really expect at all.
One of the things that I really loved was learning about the OGs like Lakefront and Tommy Porter, Russ and Jim Klisch. Those guys, they were so giving with all the knowledge and everything that they had learned for their breweries to be where they are. They were so happy they still are happy to share that information with younger breweries coming up. You'd think because they are competitors that they would be really like, no, I'm not telling anyone anything. But it was just the opposite. It was just like so much love, so much just family-like behavior with these breweries. I don't know if it's all like that now, but those guys are still that way. And it was just really refreshing, and I did not expect it at all.
So that leads me to where we're at today, which is you've changed careers now, and you've gone to a place that fascinates Doug and I. And weird because we took 25 minutes to get here, but we've kind of been chomping at the bit of talking to you about where you're at now. We'll talk to Carrie. What is it in a couple of weeks about his transition, because he did one too, career-wise. But so we'll leave that for that. But we're so then time for a new job and time for a new start. How did you get into where you're at? Tell everybody where you're at, and then how did you
switch?
During the pandemic too.
Oh man. Well, part of the reason that is part of the reason for my switch, to be honest. So I'm working for South Central Hemp Co-op, which is 9. I think it's almost 11 producer farms that are growing hemp, CBD hemp. So I'm working with them, but essentially the pandemic, I was looking back at the last time I was on the show with you, and it was like really close to now. And we had just realized the seriousness of COVID-19 and how contagious it is, and events were closing and shutting down, and businesses, everything was shutting down. And my role with the guild was events and fundraising. and we had to cancel all 3 of our major donor events. And so I knew that the whole point of those events was to raise money for the year to come and for to pay for my salary. So I had to make a move. I'm like, this isn't going to work. This just isn't going to work. I have to make a move. If I continue to work here, I'm just draining their bank account, and I'm not able to pay for myself, essentially, because there were no events happening, not in a large enough capacity to make the money that we were going to make.
Clearly, I mean, and nothing still has happened.
Yeah.
Nobody's fault. I mean, pandemic's fault, but go on.
So that just caused me to start to pivot essentially and be like, okay, what else can I do? What else makes sense for me? Lots of deep questions about my life and, what do I want to do with it? And cannabis has been one of those things that Carrie and I have just been learning a lot about. We're trying to remember when we started really digging into it. And I think it's after he went to I forget what beer event he went to in Denver, and he went to a dispensary and was just like, holy shit. Like, there's so many products. And so then we started just looking it up and talking about it. And I was raised in an environment that was like, drugs are bad. Like, you don't do drugs. And so I've never did drugs. I probably smoked pot in college, maybe once or twice, but like, I just never. And I was like an older college student before I ever smoked. And I did it all wrong, where I was drunk and then I smoked, and then you just fall asleep and people pick on you,
Right. And then you don't actually, feel what the marijuana is doing to you, because then you're all drunk and then you're all over the place. And right, go on.
Same as tequila. You're like, that dang weed, man. Fuck that.
Yes.
Well, it's the last thing you did after you drank all day, dummy.
You big dummy.
You big dummy. I'm like asleep on the grass at an outside concert. Everyone's like, oh,
right.
fucked up.
So comfortable.
The grass.
Right.
So I didn't mess around with pot. I just thought, it's illegal. I don't want to mess with that. But, this was probably like 4 years ago. We started to really look into it and research it. And we went to Denver, some other beer festivals, and I got to go to my first dispensary. And there's a bud tender. And I was like, whoa, I just want to hang out with him. He just knew so many things. It was just so cool. It blew me away. It was like, going to yeah, I'm just like, I love you.
No, I feel all that. Like, I'm at the first time that I went to a dispensary, I feel exactly what you're talking about. Keep going.
It was just magical.
Right.
So then, obviously, THC weed isn't legal here. So I obviously can't work with weed. I can only work with CBD hemp. So I started doing research on CBD hemp and realized how amazing it is. And it's just as beneficial for us as THC, but there's just no psychoactive effect. So I can take it and still like reduce anxiety, reduce some depression, helps me focus. There's all kinds of different things. It can help me sleep depending on, how much I take. But yeah, I mean, it's just like these little dudes. Yeah, this little dude. And so it has like a little dropper, and you just drop it. Boop, boop. I could put it right in my cocktail, like. So it also kind of aligned with wanting to spend more time in nature. That was something else that kind of came out of the pandemic. I love gardening and I love being outside. I grew up in the country, so I feel like I'm kind of coming back to how I grew up a little bit.
Your roots.
Yeah.
Excellent. Wow.
So it's giving me a lot of things that I feel like I was missing. It's also a brand new industry, which is exciting but very frustrating, because everybody wants to grow and sell CBD hemp. Farmers are trying to supplement their income with this, and too many of them are doing it. So it's super competitive, and it's the opposite of what the beer industry, like how I was just describing the beer industry, it's the opposite. People aren't helping each other.
Wow, cutthroat.
It's very competitive.
Wow.
They call it the Wild West, and I'm trying to get the co-op that I work with now to be like, hey, let's be friendly. And they're like, I don't know.
No, that's not our.
They're like, good suggestion. No.
And we like your attitude, and we're for it, and we're, you know what I mean? Right.
They're like, that's
Wow.
cool. Just don't tell anyone anything you do for us. I'm like, wait, what?
Doug, you have a follow up, buddy?
Yeah, I have a question regarding that, just from the perspective of CBD hemp is a thing, but hemp has a myriad of uses.
Yes.
Do the folks you work with do anything outside of just the CBD, or are they just solely concentrated on that particular market?
Right now, we're not using the CBD we're not using the CBD hemp for anything other than producing CBD oil. We've talked about making other products like loose leaf tea or something like that, but that's still just predominantly using the leaves and the flower. We're not using the stems, we're not using the seeds, nothing like that. This is predominantly to produce CBD oil.
Okay. I was just curious because it does have, you could do you can make it in, you can use it for making clothes and paper, and like there's a lot of uses for hemp that aren't just things for your mental well-being. So
yeah,
I
absolutely.
didn't know if that was something they were going after.
We've talked about it a lot, and the only reason we aren't currently doing that is just because it's a whole different type of processor. The processor we have now is hired to do this one process for us, but to use the stems would be another type of processing. And if we wanted to use hemp seeds, it'd be a different kind of a plant, because the plants we have now, we try not to have too many seeds in the flower, because some of the farmers, because they all contribute to the co-op, but then they all have their own plants. So some of the farms in the co-op can sell their own, and some choose to make cured flower, which is smokable. The co-op does not at this time. They just find it to be too much of a liability with anything smokable for health reasons. But and I understand that. I just feel like people want to smoke it. It's really fun to smoke, and I've actually I have a lot of flower. Carrie and I'll go buck hemp when it's harvest, which is just like basically like when you take kale and you like strip the leafy part off the stem. That's what you're doing to the hemp. It's called bucking, and you're just like so they pay us with hemp. And so we have like cured flower that we've given to some friends that have never tried it before and are having a lot of anxiety because COVID. And they're loving it. It's really helping them. So, I mean, I just want to help people.
So you saw the rise of I don't know, again, I'm not sure exactly when you left the industry, the beer industry, but you almost never, it's almost like, I don't know, not that I can't speak for you, but like once you're part of an industry, I think you're almost part of it, even if you're not working. But like you saw part of that, and like they say, I was saying to somebody, like, just because you're not governor anymore doesn't mean that people don't call you governor. So like, they're like, Governor Walker here in Wisconsin, I don't hate, but I dislike the guy. But but yeah, we agree on this one. But he's Governor Walker. Like he was the governor. That's his, his title. I don't like that he had that title, but that's the name. So I kind of figured that's just kind of the same way with when you switch jobs. But you saw the rise before the pandemic. There was a rise in CBD oil and beer, and people adding it and people putting it in the beers. And I know that Great Dane. I know you're familiar with Great Dane. They had additives where you would just add it. And so was that part of your hemp discovery? Did you see that in the beer industry when you're coming up, or
yes and no. So when we would get together, the Brewers Guild, the very first annual meeting that I ever attended, I think I'd only been working for them for like a few months, and I was at the Wisconsin Beer Lovers Festival, which is in Glendale, right? Was that right? Yeah, Glendale, Bayshore. It's a big mall. It's like an outside mall. Have you ever heard of that beer festival?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I was like, am I saying the wrong one?
No, I was reading the comments over here. That's why I'm like, what?
I thought your face was for me, and I'm like, I'm saying the wrong shit.
Right. Sorry, that wasn't you. I'm looking at Daniel. Actually, I was looking at Daniel's comment, trying to read it what he was talking about, but we'll bring that up after you finish it. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. One of the big conversations that came up in that annual meeting was a fear of cannabis taking over some of the market share for beer. And the Brewers Association has had many talks about this, and I think maybe even at some of the like craft beer conferences there might have been talks about it, but essentially the data was showing that people aren't going to stop drinking beer. They're just going to be high and drink beer or whatever, or it's going to be combined. Like it may take a dip, but it's going to come right back essentially, and not to be afraid of it because the breweries were really feeling puffy, you know, like their chests were all puffing out like, oh, cannabis, like get out of here. So that was like one of the first conversations I remember in the beer community here, at least, people being a little nervous about it. And as far as people making beer, I mean, it's really like in that gray, murky area because like food is not really approved. It's not FDA approved to have cannabis or even CBD in it, you know, so it's kind of, it can be a little scary for breweries if they're going to be making a beer with cannabis in a state where it's not legalized. I mean, FDA has not approved CBD across the country. So for it to be in like food and drink, it's a risk for these breweries. And some breweries are taking the risk because there's really nothing that says, like, there's no black and white. Everything's a little murky. So people are taking the risk. So we haven't really approached any breweries. We've had some breweries approach us, and we're trying to figure that out. But yeah, so, and some of the breweries just want the skunkiness, not necessarily the health benefits of the CBD.
Right, sure.
And so I'm like, oh, but there's health benefits, and they're like, we just want it to be like the hemp or whatever.
Right,
that's cool.
Right. I'll try it. Right. It'll get me in the house. So Daniel says it's fascinating. This is what I was reading actually. It's fascinating per Doug's point that a single genus.
Sorry.
Requires such specific handling. I can't imagine the amount of capital it takes to diversify a co-op's interests.
That's not unusual. A lot of plants have different processing things depending on what you use them for. I'm married to someone who certifies organic farms for a living, and just there's certain things that they handle different depending on what they're using it for. As like Rebecca was saying about the stems versus the seeds, and like it's that way for other plants too. It's not just hemp, but hemp has way more possible uses than
absolutely.
I don't think there's any other plant that's quite as versatile as it is.
And that's why the ban on hemp, let me jump in on Rebecca. That's why the ban on hemp is really, really ridiculous.
It is.
Considering it's not, again, not hemp. We're not even, again, the ban on weed is fucking ridiculous.
It
is. The ban on hemp is another level, in my opinion. Because there's no, like, you can't just be like, oh, you're just trying to get high, trying to be down, blah, 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 and the gateway drug, and blah, 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 blah. So you shouldn't have that crap with hemp because there's so many uses legal that we could explore that you people are just blown away because you think it has something to do with THC, and it's just bullshit. So on that note, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and Doug's going to break in with a second one, and then we're going to get back to some hemp.
All right, so I'm going to jump in with my next weird flavored beer because
you got a weird flavor. It's weird flavored beer day for Doug.
Yeah, so carrot cake inspired Imperial Amber Ale.
No.
And also, it's Licking Hole Creek, which is not easy to get up here. Virginia
what did
beer.
You say to me?
Licking Hole Creek.
That's the name of the brewery.
Wait,
oh my god! Is that from Indiana? That sounds like an Indiana name. That's where I'm from. I could say that.
French Lick.
You're being naughty tonight.
Larry Bird.
It is from Indiana. Wait, what? That beer's from Indiana?
No, this one is from Virginia. I was just saying French Lick is where Larry Bird is from.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's lots of ghosts in French Lick too.
Right, Licking Hole Creek. Wow, like right. Licking holes from Virginia. Okay.
A lot of head there,
JHG's
baby.
had
Yeah,
this
it's pretty heady.
Look at that go.
JHG's had this one. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to
JHG,
give my opinion, and I want to hear yours, JHG.
yeah, JHG. How do you remember anything about it?
Like, it doesn't have a lot of. I'm not sure carrots really have a whole bunch of. Not really like something you get on the nose very much, though. Although when you get a carrot cake, I feel like you can smell it when you're like eating it.
I can't get past the licking hole thing. I'm sorry. I'm just
Licking hole.
We're all 12 years old.
We are all. I am feeling that. Titties and boobies.
Always.
All right, so I don't really get this as carrot cake. I mean, the lighting here sucks, so you're not really getting like the color because it's supposed to be an amber ale with carrots in it.
It's dark.
Yeah, but it's I'm getting more the cinnamon and clove that they say have in it, and it also has lactose in it, so I'm getting a little bit of that. I'm not getting carrot cake at all, me personally, but
luckily.
I mean, I love carrot cake.
It was so weird that I was like, all right, I kind of have to get the, like, it's like seems like a really cool label. And I'm like, fuck, I have to get that because that looks cool. Or this is just so fucking weird. And why not? So, okay. Not great. How about that?
I mean, come on, that name.
Yeah.
I mean, for real. I mean, how can you not be like, hee hee? Yes, Jerry, you're right. You're all 12.
Oh man. All right, so let's before we get back to hemp here, let's
and JHG agreed that was his experience with it too, if he remembers right, is that it was like not really carrot cakey at all. So maybe
just
that's a good
spice.
thing, as you said. Yeah. It's more the spice than anything. It's not really carrot cake.
To me, that's a good thing, but if you say carrot cake on your can, that's what we're expecting when you open it up.
Well, they bypassed it by saying carrot cake inspired. They just had the inspired word thrown there on the end of it to try to just
Jesus Christ.
They might as well just put ish at the end. Carrot cake ish.
Carrot cake ish.
Right. Actually, like this video is ish too because she claims she has a mask on.
Oh no.
I'm wearing a mask. You're not wearing a mask. You're not wearing a mask. I'm wearing a mask. I'm going to fucking Vegas. I'm wearing a mask. What do you want from me? I'm wearing a fucking mask. What is this? I'm wearing a mask. Bye.
Yeah, but
Oh my.
Oh my god.
You're getting with the plate. You get it fuck out. You're not going to be there.
Oh, she went and sat down. Like.
Oh my
so
god.
look, this is why I am not ready to travel. Like,
Me either.
I am not. Like, I don't care if everybody says, I don't care if Dr. Fauci comes out tomorrow and be like, you can go travel. No. I'm good for a while. Like, I really, really am. He hasn't said that for the record. By the way, YouTube, don't shut us down. I'm not spreading any fake news. He didn't say that. But what I am saying, though, if it was tomorrow that he came out and everybody, you know what I mean? Like, at some point, we're going to get the all go. You know what I mean? We're going to get the, listen, everybody's vaccinated, everybody's good. I can't, it's just not going to work for me. It's just.
I gotta wear the damn fucking mask.
Yeah, but you don't have it.
I'm wearing a mask.
She's wearing a mask, but like it's under her nose. I see her mouth. I mean, you're technically wearing it, lady, but you're spewing all your droplets throughout the whole plane. Don't you understand or get that?
Rebecca was like,
I'm like, you know what? I need some of this in my drink. Thanks very much. That lady, I have some serious anxiety just watching that.
yeah, that is right. That is a serious grown-up tantrum voice.
I can feel it right here.
I'm wearing a mask. I have my cousins because I'm wearing a mask. You're not wearing a mask. You're not wearing a mask.
You're not wearing a mask.
Oh my
You're
god.
not wearing a mask? Yeah, I gotta go to Vegas. Sounds like a character off of South Park. Sounds nuts.
Oh, wait. Remember, I don't know if you saw it. You may not have seen it, Rebecca, where Greg showed a video where this lady was at a store and she didn't have a mask on. And people were giving her shit. So she went under her dress and pulled her underwear off and stuck it on her head.
What? No, I didn't see that. That's amazing. Where was that?
And it was a thong.
I think it was Australia. It wasn't America.
Yeah, I couldn't really
That
hear the
sounds
accent.
American.
But yeah.
Are you sure?
It was great.
You might be right.
I have some friends, Carrie and I have friends that moved to Australia. They lived in Madison. They sold their house. And Kate is Australian. Her family lives in Australia. And so they were able to, whatever that deal is, if you're like family, you can live in that country. So they've sold their house and
chain migration, I think, was the term that we got to hear.
Yes. Yes. That. So they sold their house in like 48 hours and got the hell out of here. But what's interesting,
48 hours? Wow.
Well, they sold their house in 48 hours, but it probably took them 2 weeks to leave, but it was like real quick.
Yeah, but selling your house in 48 hours is no freaking joke.
That's Madison.
Really?
It's nuts here.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, we live in a little like shoebox. It's a cute shoebox, but it's a shoebox and it's on the east side. And we could probably sell our house in a day. But we don't, because then we don't know how we would get a house anywhere else in Madison, because it's like people are paying 20 and 30,000 over asking. It's crazy.
I swear to you, your house is going to be one of the first places I visit after the pandemic. I swear to you. I can't wait to hang out with you.
We're getting it like all the backyard. We have had some backyard hangs too, like when it was warm, because we have a nice separation and a fire pit and all that.
I'm going to be ready for that soon. I really believe I am. I actually do. I can't wait. But so can you guys help me? Or actually, let's see this one first.
Right, Biden is my president. Yeah. Who's using lovely?
Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I don't. Put your mask on.
My mask is on, you dumbass.
Do you want me to exercise for you too?
Yeah, go ahead. Exercise your right to get on over there.
Yeah, this is
go
my right.
Go on over there, bitch. You're behind my car.
You're not driving.
Come on, get in the car. Pardon me.
Pardon me.
I've been vaccinated. No, we're not. She's harassing us.
No, I'm not. They harassed
She's
me.
harassing us.
Good, prove it.
She won't let us get in our car.
Kamala Harris is a man. Wait, Kamala Harris is a man.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Are you gonna drive?
Are you a BLM or an Antifa? Do you burn down buildings and kill children? Right?
I can't wait till this gets on Facebook.
I can't wait for it either.
Yes, you will be ID'd. You will be ID'd.
Dox me. Dox me.
Tell her to get away from me. Tell her to get away from me. Tell her to get away from me. Tell her to get away from me.
All the repeating.
I'll call the cops.
I dare you.
I don't have a problem.
I fucking dare you.
We are hilarious.
Funny. I'm gonna video you.
That's
hilarious.
weird.
Yeah.
The Lysol. Your Lysol.
That is fine.
You miserable.
Lysol.
She won't let us get in our car.
Oh, I see that Mini Cooper back there.
Kamala Harris is a man. Wait, Kamala Harris is a man.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Are you gonna drive?
Are you a BLM or an Antifa? Do you burn down buildings and kill children?
Right.
Yeah.
This world. What's going on in this world?
Oh my
This
God.
shit, I mean, this is why I have not been, so I work for Metcalf's Market. It's my part-time gig, and I work for the hemp co-op. So Metcalf's Market, it's a grocery store, and they have 3 of them in Wisconsin. And that's the only place, maybe there's like one other grocery store I've gone to. I hardly go anywhere because I do not want to run into women like that. I'm scared of the women.
Yes.
I'm more scared of the other women because they're so crazy. I just like keep my head down, I like get out of my car, I put my mask on, I go into wherever I'm going, I buy my shit, and I get right, like there's no eye contact.
I couldn't agree with you more. Well, my thing is that like A woman is like I can swing on a man. I'm not gonna ever swing on a woman. I'm not ever gonna get physical with a woman. And that's what makes it harder for me because I don't want to even like interact with a woman. A man, it's fine, like because I'll swing on him if he gets in my space or he's doing any of that, I can do that. But like I'm not going like I women scare me in this way too, Rebecca, because again, I will just be like hands off, just leave me alone. But like these people don't like she's standing behind the woman's car. Like so you're being confrontational. You're absolutely don't act like you don't want any confrontation when you're standing behind my car. Yeah. And the same thing with the people on the airport, it's even worse. Like, can you just shut up and put your mask on? We're all trying to get to whatever it is.
Yeah.
Vegas. You know what I mean? We're all in this, you know, what does our friend Aaron Govea call it, Doug? Air tube. We're all in this air tube together. Can we all just
I think he might call it a death tube because he hates flying. So. I mean,
like, we're all like, you know, remember the whole, you know, when the pandemic started, we're all in this together. And I'm glad they stopped that messaging because people didn't believe that shit. The people who wanted to, like, I wanted to believe it. You know what I mean, Rebecca? But I think the people who are sensible minded are in it together. And then there's that other group over there that like to storm the, you know, the Capitol, not wear masks, you know, say that Anderson Cooper eats babies. No, Anderson Cooper has a baby. That's different than Anderson Cooper
eats a baby.
That, you fucking morons. Sorry, I didn't mean to get into it, but like that's where that whole, you know, all in it together. That's Doug, Rebecca, and Greg we're in it together. We're in that together group. We all want to stay home. We don't want to infect anybody. We are all sacrificing things that we normally would be doing, like going to Rebecca's house to have a couple beers with her and her husband, shooting the shit out in the back with her dogs. Yes, I can't wait.
We've got one dog back
I
here.
can't wait because I'm not trying to infect. Yeah.
Oh man.
Right.
Too.
It's Ida.
Right. Oh, I love this. Who is this? You get in your car, you started, then you back up.
She will get out of the way.
Those kind of idiots won't move. And then they'll sue you because you hit them.
Right.
That's the kind of person that is.
And then we have reports this week. I mean, they've been all over the place, but we have reports this week, definitely this week, about people getting killed, assaulted because they're just trying to spit on at Disney because they're trying to enforce the mask mandates, or they just want you to have a mask. And we've had security guards shot. We've had people spit on. Actually, today I just saw the spit on thing for Disney right before we got on, and I looked at the only reason I pulled up the article. Sometimes you can, you know, at this point we're in a society where you see the headline and most of the time you just scroll. You're like, you get it from the headline. You're like, fuck it. But I clicked on this Disney one where people were spitting on the people at Disney, and I looked specifically for the words lifetime ban, and I didn't see that. And why can't it just be you are not allowed after you do that? That's it. And the reason is because I don't want to take my kids to Disney now because I know that you people allow people who spit on people to come back and patronize you. So you're really not serious about the problem if you just be like, oh well, you can come back, we'll kick you out. But no, if you spit on someone, that's it. It's over. It's done. Go to Disney World. It's in Florida, and try to pull that shit there. We'll ban you there too. Sorry, I'm on the. Yeah.
Well, we laugh all the time and just about how crazy Florida is. We have a friend that's from Florida, so we really like to give him a lot of shit. And he was telling us some pretty crazy stories that we're just like, what?
Well,
just about
Ariana gave us
this. They are.
Yeah, Ariana Bradford gave us this.
Right. And she lives there now, too.
United States penis, Florida.
So the only problem I have with that is a lot of the population draws pleasure from a penis. So
yeah, what's wrong with a penis?
Right. No, I was gonna, right. That's I'm like right. So what were you gonna say, Doug?
Nothing's wrong with the penis, everybody. Nothing.
You know what Ariana meant though by that? Like you know what she means by that.
But there's a caveat to that. There's nothing wrong with a penis unless somebody decides to send it to you unsolicited. Then that is not okay. So yeah.
Right.
I almost feel like Florida. I feel like Florida's the pubes, not the penis. Like pubes are so annoying, and they're also.
Florida is the taint.
Tell us, Rebecca. Go there.
No, that's it. That's all I got.
No, I don't. We don't. Hey, we ain't afraid here. Go on.
I'm just gonna say, like, pubes. They're just like, I don't know. They just keep coming back no matter what you do, unless you fucking like laser that shit off. And I'm not gonna do that. No way. I remember the one time I got waxed. I was going to Mexico, and it was the worst. It hurt so bad, and I like broke out and ruined my whole vacation. Never gonna do that again. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people wax anything. It hurts so bad.
You did the Kelly Clarkson thing from the 40-year-old virgin.
No, but I remember like tears coming down, and I
had my wife actually wax because I had hair coming in on like on my shoulders on the back, and she's like, "Do you want that?" I'm like, "Well, no." And then she did that, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not ever doing that again."
It hurts. It sucks.
And the thing is, it was just like my skin felt blotchy and hot for like a day, and I was like, "Yeah, no, not doing that ever again." And I don't envy people that do that because like that sucks. That's not a fun process.
No, I hated it. I was like, I'm never doing this again. Never.
Carrie,
all the things we have to do to our bodies. What? Oh, Carrie.
Florida will let you fall off, and then Daniel says, "Oh my God, Carrie's comment almost."
Oh shit!
See that unwashed, unclean penis? No one got time for that, right?
That's true.
That was Jerry. That was Jerry commenting that one.
True.
That's great.
Hey, and Jerry lives in Texas, so let's not throw too much salt on Florida compared to.
And Jerry's a gay male, so he knows about penises.
Hey, I'm not a gay man, and I know about penises because I got one of those things.
I'm not a gay man, and I know about
but you don't have to deal with one. No, you don't have. You would never have to deal with an unclean, unwashed penis, though, Doug. You have a wife.
But she doesn't wash my penis. It isn't coming to America.
No, but I'm saying you don't have to deal. Forget it.
The royal penis is clean.
The royal penis is clean.
Get you and your listen. We got into a penis conversation tonight. I don't even, man. This is why I love this stream.
It doesn't surprise me.
It goes everywhere, and we don't care, and that's the best part.
Pun intended.
I'm into it.
So this is normally we're getting to the second hour of our stream here, and this is the time normally when we change to food shaming. And one topic that we had before in our pre-production area here was that Rebecca never had or didn't know what a whoopie pie was. So everybody in the comments, do you know what a whoopie pie is?
Yes.
Should Rebecca be ashamed that she didn't know whoopie pie or not?
I am going to make the promise right now that I will gladly send whoopie pies to Carrie and Rebecca if they've never had them, because I can get them and you will love them.
Rebecca never had them.
I've never had one. I've never had a whoopie pie. I was telling you guys the only time I ever heard whoopie was from what was it? The
dating game.
The dating game. When's your favorite time to make whoopie?
Carrie, coming to America too.
You're right, Carrie. My kids who are all
Carrie. Unintended.
My kids
was a hard conversation, Daniel.
Yeah. So my kids all loved the first Coming to America. I was like, you guys got to watch it. This is like, and they freaking loved it. They thought it was hilarious. And then my youngest one was like, hey, Dad, I saw Coming to America 2 is coming out. Can we watch it? Yeah, absolutely. We're going to watch it.
It's so good. The first one's so good. It's one of my favorites.
But not in the context of what we're talking about.
No.
Anywho, watch this.
My sandwich needs to be oozing. Yes, more.
man or the woman's bathroom to stop that? Is it the man's or woman's bathroom? The woman's.
The woman's.
No.
Yes, that is good enough.
Yes, that is good enough.
What is that
Around
shit?
my sandwich
Some fucking whatever it is.
needs to be oozing.
I love the man. What the fuck?
Yes, more.
Hey, was it the man's or the woman's bathroom to stop that?
More.
Why does the lady sound like she's having an orgasm?
The man's
More.
the man's the woman's.
The woman's.
Ew.
That's the wrong colored blood.
Chipotle mayo.
Yes,
Jesus.
yeah.
Just say,
Oh,
give me
okay,
the bottle. I'll take it.
Right. So is there any shape or form or any of that you would like be in a space where you wanted that much shit on your sandwich?
No.
Like, is there like
How
a
do you taste the sandwich?
mayo or like a like?
How do you taste a sandwich?
Yeah. Might as well just get a bowl of sauce and drink it.
Yeah, Jerry was like, just give her the bottle.
Yeah, give her the damn bottle. Yeah,
There you
that's what
go.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Hey, was it the man's or the
Be like,
woman's
here,
bathroom to stop
dumbass.
that?
More.
No.
Is it the man's or woman's bathroom?
The woman's.
The woman's.
The woman's.
Maybe she
Sorry,
was
but
doing
that's
that.
just.
She was just like, all right, now I'm just going to go like this. You want all this stuff?
It'd be so funny if she just like squirted her.
Right. When you know
in your mouth.
Yeah.
you know it's bad when you hear that end up.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, she's seriously gonna eat that though. Like,
That's gross.
All right, so there's a serious question out of that is like, so you have
Right.
all that. That's not like here I have a whole bunch of lettuce. That's a fucking sauce, whatever the fuck sauce it was. You bite into that, you're just gonna have sauce everywhere. How are you eating that? Like it's so. Not only do you not taste the sandwich, all you have is just mess everywhere. It's like,
right.
Oh my
So
God.
my second beer was somewhere in there. Still Giant Jones Grand Stout.
Ooh,
I love that label.
the Grand Stout. Okay, what makes it a Grand Stout? Because that's not a term I've heard for stout before.
I'm not sure. It's 9.8.
Ooh.
And I think the grand part is that like it's just a big, everybody knows Giant Jones's stick is big beers. And big beers, affordable prices, and drinkability. And they hit all of those of every fucking beer. And this is just another fucking beer that Giant Jones hit out of the park, meaning drinkability. Like all their beers are literally sessionable in my opinion, because sessionable in my eyes is something that you can. People use sessionable as like lower ABV, and yes, generally yes. But sessionable beers to me are ones that like I could sit and have a couple, and especially like if I go over to Rebecca Jaworski and Carrie's house and I bring a couple of these, we could be sitting out back and like dust like a 6-pack of like anything Giant Jones, and they're going to be all high ABV, and we're just going to be like sitting around it, and soon enough I'll have to get an Airbnb home. I won't be able to drive back.
You're gonna take an Airbnb home.
I'm sorry, an Uber.
Wow.
Airbnb home.
Well, listen, no.
An RV.
Okay, you want to make fun of me, bitches?
I think it's that barley wine talking.
No. I got the up house where I put a bunch of balloons up, and then the house goes up and it goes back.
I didn't even catch that, Doug. I was just like, yeah, he'll have to get an Airbnb.
Doug catches all my mistakes.
No, that's not true. I'm like partially deaf, so I miss. I'm wondering how much I actually miss. It's really true. Like I just wonder how much I actually miss.
Well, this was a good catch.
No.
Good.
Right.
I don't know why that hit me. He was like, I need an Airbnb home, and I'm like, Airbnb is where you like go on vacation.
Right. I got the up house bitches. Now what? Like, anywho. These ladies brew great great beer. How far are you away from? Can you walk to this place?
Me?
Rebecca? Yeah, you said you're east.
Yeah, we can walk. It's like maybe a mile and a half.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, and this is I don't Rebecca, I'm gonna ask you what's your favorite brewery in Wisconsin? Or what's your favorite brewery in Madison? This is mine.
Working Draft.
Oh, so you're an IPA lady.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Because Working Draft, I don't know, they've moved, I don't know if you've been on their website. They've moved to, especially in the pandemic, a lot of IPAs.
They have.
Not a problem. I just noticed that because I was on their website fishing today.
Yeah.
Or 2 days ago.
I'm a Pilsner and lager gal, and but also dark beers because I really like nutty, chocolatey, milky dark beers. I mean, I like lots of beers, but like I really love Pilsners and lagers, and Working Draft makes killer light beers.
They make killer lagers. Come on, we were laughing at Licking Hole, not Giant Jones.
Fucking Jerry.
Like, come on, that's a definite penis reference. Then Greg talking about hitting it out of the park.
Giant Jones. I guess because I just know the girls that a penis is the last thing I think of.
Yeah, that's true. Like that is like if you look at it in that context, yeah.
Yeah. So Jerry, the story behind Giant Jones is that they are a queer couple, and Jessica Jones, who is the mastermind behind all the beers, is a transgender. So I hope I said that right, and I hope I gave it respect because I want to. But she is a transgender female, and she is fucking fabulous at making beers, and she's a wonderful, wonderful human being. On top of that, so I'm not sure if it has anything to do with her name is Jessica Jones, so we have that. But I don't know if it has to do with penises in that context. Maybe I'm wrong.
I always thought the giant was like it referenced the types of beers, but then also like on the labels, it's always, to me, it's some kind of goddess that's almost larger than life. I know they're not all goddesses, but I think a lot of them are goddesses.
A lot of them are
they're
goddesses.
like they're larger than life. So giant to me is like it represents lots of stuff.
Yes.
Not a giant penis.
Right. And it also you're completely correct. It also means giant beers too. Because that's their thing. And again, when you go into their the thing that I love about Giant Jones is I rolled into there skeptical because I didn't know anything about them. Apparently I knew Jessica Jones though, before she was Jessica Jones. I didn't know that. And I didn't really even recognize her. And it doesn't matter. But when I rolled in there, I was skeptical about how you are a responsible brewer and you just brew all these big beers. And I even asked Jessica that, and she even had I don't know if you ever talked to Jessica, Rebecca, but she's smart as hell.
I've never met anyone, even Carrie, that knows as much about beer as she does. Just her wealth of knowledge
is for everything, and they're not just like, we're used to like people just responding with like talking points. No. Jessica has answers, and she has the right answers.
Her palate.
One of her right answers. Yeah. One of her right answers was, I'm like, how do you have a brewery where you just serve all big beers? And she's like, well, first of all, and she just went into it. And one of her things is that they offer beers at 1 ounce, 2 ounces, and 3 ounces. So you can get all their beers for like less than $7. You can try them all, and then you can take home, a couple of them. They got them right there. It's just, again, Jessica and Giant Jones, they're just my shit. I can't really. I love Parch Eagle. I worked there. I love Working Draft. If you're familiar with the Madison area, Working Draft is less than probably like a 5-minute walk from Giant Jones.
Yeah, they're close.
Like you can do them both. They're both really, really fantastic, and they give you 2 different things. Jessica, real quick, you want to jump on that or have a comment? I blabbed for a while there.
Oh, on Giant Jones. So the other thing I really love. Working Draft. So one of the things that I love the beer, but we also really love Ryan Brown and Clint, who's the brewer there. But Ryan, so Working Draft, the draft part means it's also about writing. It's not just about beer. It's about like a draft, like you're writing a paper because of Ryan's background. I can't remember if he's like a poetry. He's definitely he's a creative writing major. So his writing ability is fantastic. So the draft part is like the writing part of him, which not a lot of people realize that. They just think it's draft beer. There's just a lot of thoughtfulness at that brewery that I just really appreciate, and they reused a lot of items, like creating their bar and tables, and they have this huge mural. It's just a different kind of vibe in there that is just arty and chill and welcoming, and a lot of families come in there, and they have like tables with games, and it's just a cool ass place, and they make delicious beer. So it's like, and the food's really good. They have Taco Tuesdays, which we normally, before the pandemic, we played bocce on every Tuesday, and we would go in for tacos after bocce and drink beer, and it was just the best. And now we don't have that.
Soon. Keep that vibe.
Hopefully we get there. Hopefully we get there soon. Right?
We will.
Soon. Doug, what's going on?
So I'm going to jump in with my third weird beer.
Let's do it.
Evil Twin Brewing, which is one of my favorite breweries. Blueberry jelly donut, Even More Jesus. So Even More Jesus is one of their I'm not sure if it's a flagship, but it's like their imperial stout.
Right. So rewind.
Blueberry jelly donut.
Rewind. Describe the beer again?
It's blueberry jelly donut, Even More Jesus. Even More Jesus is their imperial stout. That's the name of it. And they do 20 variants of that. Like they do a mole version of it. Like so I've not had a lot of success with donut beers at all. So I'm curious how this will be. Look at the Hello, Ida.
How many
Frankie.
dogs do you have on the stream, Doug?
2. This is Frankie.
Oh, that's Frankie? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
So we had your dog on, Doug, once, didn't we?
Yes. He is upstairs now, so he will not be making
it. The dog was on. I forget.
Okay, so super blueberry on the nose, but I'm not surprised by that.
I like blueberry, but
okay, but Evil Twin also has a very rich history of blending weird shit together and making it work. And in my Black is Beautiful glass, which I'm really a fan of.
I like blueberry beers. I'm curious to hear how this goes.
That one found this one killed it for me, but
oh yeah, Lizard of Kaz.
Yes.
All right, so
I found this now. We're going.
The blueberry comes through first, and then you get the I'm going to say gluten taste that you get of a donut. When it's like that sort of like glazed donut aftertaste. Does that make sense? So it's blueberry that, and the stout is a little bit in the background on it. So what stays on your palate is the actual glazed donut aftertaste as opposed to any of the other things, which is probably my least favorite part of the donut.
Is it like a fake sugary taste?
No, it tastes like a blueberry filled donut. Although it is 12% alcohol, so
yeah. Enjoy.
So after a couple more sips, I won't mind the aftertaste of the glazed donut.
What do they use to get the blueberry flavor?
What was that thing you just posted from Daniel Fisher? Could you put that back up? No, the soy sauce thingy. What the fuck was that?
Soy sauce barrels. Bizarre.
Oh, listen, I'm all for stretching the boundaries of things. That might be a little bit too far. Even for me, I like trying weird shit. I did all my beers are weird ass things, and that was like one of them. Like, man, I'm not sure I can go that far.
That's almost just to say that you made it or something,
That's true. That's true.
It's true. So Jerry, I'm pretty sure this is Jerry responding to our comments about Giant Jones not being about giant penises. That's a fantastic story about the brewery. In fact, knowing more about the story, it seems that they want to make it much more big impression on the industry. Facts. That's the name, whether it's cis or trans. Who doesn't want to be taken seriously for their work? Facts.
Yeah.
Boom. Thanks, Doug.
Boom.
Somebody's thanking you.
I don't know why Jerry was thanking me.
He probably, I think it's because of this, what you're saying about Evil Twin. Maybe
Yeah, I love their stuff. Almost every beer I get from Evil Twin has been something like, and they put out like, I don't know how big is their facility? Does anybody know how big their facility is? Because there's some place and they have fucking 40 different beers, and I'm like, how the fuck are you putting out that many?
Twin is beer. They're a gypsy brewery, aren't they?
Oh, maybe that makes sense. Why then? I didn't realize that. I thought they were a stationary one as opposed to a gypsy brewery.
Oh, Carrie's here to drop some knowledge.
Oh, like Carrie.
That they used to stressed out. He's right. It could be right.
Maybe they need CBD oil so they're not too stressed out.
You need CBD oil for your stressed out yeast.
Right. Yeast is gonna be okay. Here's some CBD oil.
Speaking of stressed out, can anybody tell me what this lady's talking about?
You are 28, 29, 30. You're not trying to dress like 14, 16, 15, 16-year-olds. So when you see a millennial not wearing not wearing a middle part and not wearing the jeans that you want them to be, maybe you just shut up because they shouldn't be. You should be actually worried about people. You know what? No, you just keep your opinions to yourself because you're literally 6 years old. You're 12. You don't know nothing. You don't even know how to do anything. I don't even care about your opinion. I don't care about what you have to think about anything. We are a part of the fashion development to get where you were today. So shut up about it.
Oh my God.
I don't even care what you think. I look terrible in a middle part.
Me too, sister.
I look terrible in it.
All right.
Whoa.
I have a question. Does anybody do those kind of things and wonder, maybe I shouldn't post that online?
I deleted my TikTok account. I'm so over it. It's a black hole. I like get stuck in
9:30. You're not trying to dress like 14, 16, 15, 16-year-olds. So when you see a millennial.
So she's a millennial screaming at the Gen Xers for their fashion, I think.
No.
Was it the other way around?
That when you are 28, 29, 30, you're not trying to dress like 14, 16, 15, 16-year-olds. So when you see a millennial not wearing not wearing a middle part and not wearing the jeans that you want them to be, maybe you just shut up because they shouldn't be. You should be actually worried about people. You know what? No, you just keep your opinions to yourself because you're.
So I think she's a Gen Z is what I'm thinking, right? Because that's super young, right? Because I'm a Gen X and Carrie's a millennial.
Yeah, Gen Z's my kids, and they're 17 and 15.
All right. So what happened recently, and I don't know where it.
So.
Because I'm Gen X. Because I was born in '77. Carrie's a millennial, but he's like on the tail end of millennial. Yeah, she was criticized for her clothing. So there's something that went out that was saying that women shouldn't be wearing side parts anymore, and we shouldn't be wearing skinny jeans anymore. And it was, I think it was Gen Zs were just saying like it's so over. And so now people are getting picked on about it. And
so Gen Z was criticizing millennials, and then this is her response.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking.
You are 28, 29, 30. You're not trying to dress like 14, 16, 15, 16-year-olds. So when you see a millennial not wearing not wearing a middle part and not wearing the jeans that you want them to be, maybe you just shut up because they shouldn't be.
Yeah, because she's saying she looks terrible with a middle part because they're trying to say this is what's cool, and she's saying no, it isn't. I look terrible with the middle part, and same, and they're saying don't wear skinny jeans because they look bad or whatever. But it's like, who the fuck cares? And that's what she's saying. Who the fuck cares? I'm gonna do what I want. Shut up.
Okay, so you agree with her?
I do. Yeah, I just wouldn't do what she did, but I agree with her because it's stupid. It's like
she's freaking out, and I couldn't figure out why. What were you gonna say, Doug?
My point was going to be that I think, Rebecca, you're at a point in your life where you're just kind of like, fuck it. dude, why am I worried about what the other people think? And if you want to do a side part, a middle part, whatever. But my point was going to be more like the incredibly fucking ridiculous standards we put women to try to be pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Just be your fucking self.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We talk about this all the time. We talk about like fairy tales and Disney and all that shit. You know, telling women to wait for your Prince Charming and all that bullshit. It fucks us up forever.
Yeah.
Because there is no fucking Prince Charming. You know what I mean? When you find a person, you're a team. He's not saving you. You're not saving him. You're saving each other. And then you just figure out how to save yourself.
Yes.
You're a fucking
cheers.
team.
Where's that cheers for everybody? Yes. And thank you for explaining her freak out. I seriously didn't understand. And the reason I put that video in is because I wanted someone to tell me like what it's about. So I had the perfect guest for the perfect video.
If you are 28, 29, 30, you're not trying to dress like 14, 16, 15, 16-year-olds. So when you see a millennial not wearing not wearing a middle part and not wearing the jeans that you want them to be, maybe you just shut up because they shouldn't be. You should be actually worried about people. You know what? No, you just keep your opinions to yourself because you're literally 6 years old. You're 12. You don't know nothing. You don't even know how to do anything. I don't even care about your opinion. I don't care about what you have to think about anything. We are part of the fashion development to get where you were today. So shut up about it. I don't even care what you think.
Okay.
I look terrible in a middle part.
Okay.
I look terrible in it.
All right. So I'm gonna
Yes.
Do it. Imagine if that was an apartment and you lived above or below that woman and she started going off about a middle part. And the thing is, that wouldn't be bad for me. I would just think someone was yelling because I can't fucking hear shit. But I imagine people who could hear stuff would be like, what the hell is going on up?
Right.
And I feel bad because I don't want, like, everybody. I have to say, we're seeing a lot of these videos. And Greg, you and I had the whole conversation about Karens. And has this been common? Has this been going on? I think you and I had a discussion last week where we're both kind of at our fucking breaking point with this fucking COVID stuff, like just being cooped up in our fucking houses and whatever. Go, Carrie, go.
Right, look at that. Look at that. Yes.
Hey, put mezcal in that Carrie, please.
No, don't put mezcal in it.
But I wonder.
I'm watching them now.
I think some of it might be a little bit of just everybody kind of getting to their breaking point a little bit. And just like, again, I had the benefit of being almost 50. And so like, I don't have a lot of that worry about shit like that. But like, yeah, again, I'm also a dude. I don't have a lot of standards I got to meet as far as beauty is concerned. I really don't.
Nope.
Yeah. It's really crazy. Like, I don't know, just being told at a very young age, you know, to make sure to put lipstick on so I don't look pale. But that's just because that's what women were told. And, you know, so right away, like 6th grade, I'm already wearing mascara and lip gloss because I want to look pretty. And then it's just like, then you're just continue
it's
from
all
there.
downhill from there.
Yeah, and it's expensive, and it's bad for your skin, and it's bad for your eyelashes. It's bad
for your self-esteem. It's bad for your confidence.
All bad.
It's bad for, like, so it almost like ignores what you have to give beside your looks.
Yeah.
Like completely just ignores that. So it's not about how much you can study or how much you know and how much, again, I value you, Rebecca, for your knowledge and your diversity and you know what you know and what what you're trying to be. And I don't know, it's fucked up. And as a guy, like Dog says, as a guy, it's hard for us to see. You know, just like it's hard for white Americans to see what Black Americans go through. It's the same as it's really hard for
talk about this is just the idea of like I have a million blind spots, and while I'm seeing them more, I still have them.
Yeah.
getting to the fun part of this, maybe if she sang it at the
sea shanty, and also you spelled that wrong, Daniel. But I gave Greg shit for saying something wrong earlier. I'm going to give you shit.
That's just funny. So then I don't know who this is, but Rebecca, they are happy that you broke it down.
And that was Jerry. He was very happy because of that.
He's right. Jerry's
You're
right.
welcome. You're welcome.
Because otherwise, I was missing the whole thing. And again, normally on a video, we'd be like, "Oh, we don't get it," but you broke it down, so that's awesome. Because otherwise, I'm like, "This lady's crazy." So they're actually using average fashion blogger, I'm also with the tantrum voices. She had it. Good.
I mean, you are 28, 29, 30. You're not trying to dress like 14, 16.
I'm sorry, what, Rebecca?
I don't know what I would sound like if I was that upset. I might sound just like one of these women that you've played. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what would happen to me.
With everything you're saying. Lauren agrees with everything.
What I do when I get upset, I don't say jack shit. I just get super quiet, and that's like the worst.
That's Carrie.
Oh, that's me too. When I'm upset, you won't see it.
Is that like a male thing? I'm not trying to generalize, but I think maybe for me, it's more like when I get quiet, I'm kind of stewing on it, and I also don't want to say something I'll regret.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Carrie's just in his head the whole time,
I don't
and
think
I'm
that's
like,
the guy. I think this.
Does that bother you when he does that, Rebecca?
yes. Well, what bothers me is he'll say, "I don't know," because he really doesn't know because he's processing it. But I am like, "What do you mean you don't know?"
Right. Right.
Mine is like I think Jill feels like there's like a fucking it's like there's a storm a coming like that kind of I'm like no really not I'm just trying to get that shit worked out up here and so I'm not like saying something that's one either I'll regret or something I really don't mean because I haven't fully figured out what I'm trying to get through. So yeah.
This happens here a lot, which is and I mean my house between me and the lady of the house. This happens a lot. Which is, and it happened yesterday, recently. We found, long story short, we found some mold in the closet. Oh. And she's like, mold? It must be like all over the house. What the fuck is this house? And I'm just like, I'm over here just processing that we got mold in the closet. Like I'm not even to that like next level, but I think ladies generally jump to like a couple levels, and I'm just like, "Whoa, you need to slow down." So I even told her I was even like, people would say this is rude, but I'm like, your attitude is affecting the house. You need to go to that room. Step down.
Oh, shit, how'd that go?
I walked out of the room, and like then like we both calmed down. And then she sent me a note saying, "I'm sorry, I overdo it." But my point is that, like, I think that, like, in my house, just speaking here, like, I'm with Doug and I'm with Carrie, whereas, like, it takes me longer to process it. And I'm not even showing emotion at that time because I don't even know if it's bad or good. But my lady already determined that shit was bad and it's gonna be bad. And like we get to it, I think it's we get to it at different times. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like we're just trying to process it, and the ladies are like, "Look, bitch, this is a problem. We gotta solve this shit." Like,
I haven't even fully assessed the problem.
Right. So yeah. I think it's more of a time thing than it is like a you know, like, because at the end of the day, me and her agreed, like, yeah, we got to do something. We made a plan and all that. But like, I was just overwhelmed. I just get overwhelmed by her emotions. Yeah. So that I can't even really sometimes like say, "Oh, let's figure out what the hell's going on." And I see reactions from both of you, so I'm gonna shut up. And
hey,
I mean, no, you go
ahead, Rebecca. You first, and then I have a question for you.
Yeah, Rebecca, go.
So Carrie and I just were laughing the other day because, you know, we both work from home and we're here together in this tiny house all the time. And yeah, us boys are a little slow to the draw. And Carrie and I have like a fighting style. You know, it's like the same thing happens every time. And it's usually like, I'm really upset. And Carrie's like, "Oh shit, I did something that made her upset. I didn't know." And then I'm like, "Why don't you know?" And, you know, then I'm like, you're saying, I escalate. And he's like, "Shit, that was fucked up what I did. I better not say anything else because I might make it worse." And the whole time I'm like, "Say something." And so I go way up and then we separate for a little bit, you know? And then we're like, you know what? Everything's cool. It's okay. And we apologize, and then that's good. That's it. You know, it doesn't last that long because it's really they're always stupid things. Generally, it's always just something stupid.
But that's what I was going to get at with Rebecca said earlier about you guys like being a couple as partners. You make each other better. You're perfect for each other. It doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you understand. Like, yes, when I am frustrated and upset, I kind of go into my own little shell and I'm just trying to process it. I'm trying to get through it. And my wife wants to talk that out because she doesn't want something where I'm upset. She wants to be able to talk it out to calm me down, to get me to a place where I'm at a nice even keel, except that's not how I process stuff. And, you know, my wife and I have been together for this year, about 10 years together, married, and
woohoo!
And we can't go any fucking where, so that's fucking great. But
you still love each other, so shut it.
The best part is this year I turned 50 and we'll be married 10 years. And what are we going to do for either of those things, right? But the idea of just getting as a if you have a partner and you understand the nuances of, you know, like I tend to be very, all right, here's what we got to do. I'm very task focused, and my wife is not. But that's not a negative of my, like, she is able to balance out my sort of hyper logical structure of things, be a bit farther out than what I would normally do. So I don't know. I think very much we balance each other out in that respect. Not to get into a whole relationship conversation, but more just like, yeah, I think you're right, Rebecca, when you said, like, it's not about this fairy tale thing. It's about you're both kind of broken, but the parts that are broken, it's almost like two keys that have different grooves. But when you put them together, the keys match.
Yeah.
And while it's not always a smooth go, there's a hills and valleys that you can work through.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could talk about relationships all day long. Before I met Carrie, I was just like a serial dater, like I just never committed to anyone fully. And so when Carrie came along, I was just jaded, and it was like, no way this kid, because he was younger than me. So I'm like, there's no way this young guy from Wisconsin, I'm too jaded. He's too like sweet and kind. This will never work. I'll break him, But what ended up happening is he was just determined to allow me to feel safe, and to be myself. And if that meant I was like going through a hard time just committing to him, he was just kind of a rock. He's like, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to be here. And it was really, I didn't know how to feel about it for a while. And then realized that, we were a team, and it wasn't all up to me. It was both of us. And once we figured that out, things really changed with our relationship. And we were like, okay, we're here for each other. We're not these independent people that are kind of doing our own thing, but together, it's together. And it was the first time I'd ever felt that way. And then it was just marriage and stuff.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I'll pose a question to both of you if I can. So, Rebecca, you and Carrie work together from home. Greg, you're a stay-at-home dad, and I know your wife doesn't work from home, but have you found through COVID and just being in like very close proximity to each other almost all the time, has that been good for your relationships, or has it been something where you've had to navigate it a bit? Not that it's been a negative, just like it's been something where you have to navigate it a bit.
At first, it took some getting used to. We were annoying each other because conference calls, Zoom calls, whatever, we would be like, shut your door or make sure your earbuds are in, or we would chat and not get anything done. Or one of us would be chatty and the other one wouldn't be chatty, and it'd be like, hey, I'm trying to work. And then it would hurt someone's feelings. And it took us a few months to set those boundaries.
Yeah, and Carrie, I could be wrong. I don't want to describe it, but what I think about his job before COVID was it was a traveling job. So you guys saw each other, but it was limited time, as opposed to like 24 hours a day.
Yes and no. So he was out during the day. He at third space, I think they had to see 40 or 50 accounts a week, even though it was COVID. So he did that. So there was definite chunks of time where I would have to myself. But at first it was a little bit more, we were home more. They hadn't set that precedent right away because everyone was like, what the fuck? So yeah, we had breaks from each other, which was nice. Just to have your own time, like.
Yeah, and to answer Doug's question, the lady here at the house worked at home, pretty much a while before the pandemic, so there wasn't really that much. I wouldn't say that much. Like we were at least working. We're at least used to both working at home and both being at home. But the fact that like it restricted us from doing our traveling. Like our traveling is where we're cool if we could be at home all the time. But like I don't like to mention her name on the stream. I don't know why. Kind of like Vera on Cheers. But so I always call her the Lady of the House. The Lady of the House. Long story short, she grew up not liking or wanting to go on planes. So she eventually got a part-time job at the airport where she was that lady where like she sat there, and if you go past that, you're coming out of your plane, you had your plane ride, you come out and then you can't go back. She's that person that like you have to go back through security in order to come. You can't, once you leave that one spot.
Yeah.
She was that guard that stood there and said, nope, you got to go through back to security. So with that, she saw all these people getting off the plane, and she's like, I don't know, why do I care about planes? And I'm always here telling her, because I was an aerospace engineer student, I'm like, you're more likely to get struck by lightning twice than be involved in a plane accident. I mean, they just don't happen that much. Planes don't fall out of the sky. So she ended up finding out that she liked flying. So then she started going traveling. And then the last trip that she made before COVID was she went to Iceland for 7 days. She
Hell yeah.
loved it. And like that was part of our thing where like we were able to work at home and all be together, but I was able to take my road trips, she was able to take her trips. So then COVID shut all that down. So then it was more of like a mitigating thing, like even simple things like I'm a homeschooler, so my kids are always home. So we're used to that too. But even me and her had to have a talk where, sometimes she doesn't eat breakfast with us. Sometimes I eat lunch in a different area. And that's just because so that people can we always eat dinner together, but so people can have different spaces. Like I told her that like our boys are used to being able to have space without us. We almost have to respect that space. So it's almost, it was just to have a conversation about it. It was more of a conversation than it was anything. But no, it's look, to answer your question, it made it better or worse. I would say it made it better because ultimately it makes us talk about our feelings. It makes us talk about, the spaces that we didn't have before. And it makes us look forward to, we had this conversation today with my boys that like, listen, I don't care what the neighbors are doing out there because they're out there running around, talking to each other. Kids are all like, the pandemic's not over until Dr. Fauci says it is, or till the scientist says it is, or till we get to a point to where it's vaccine. So to answer your question, long story short, Doug, it's made it better.
It's made it better for us too. We look forward to hanging out. And I think because of the pandemic and since I do social media and marketing, I have way more screen time. Like I wake up and start working and looking at my phone at 7, and then I close my computer between 6 and 7. And having Carrie here to be like, dude, close your computer. And then we hang out and, we like smoke a little or take a little CBD tincture and put out some music and dance, because we've also are trying to like move our bodies, especially me, because I sit in a chair, which isn't even like a real desk chair. It's in the living room and I'm all like, ooh. And so I need to move. So we dance.
We can have dance parties when I come over.
Hell yeah.
All right. So say I'm curious. So like tonight we were when I came, so my son stayed with their mom during the week, and their mom lives in Scranton, which is about an hour from where I live. So I drive down and pick them up on Fridays. I bring them up. Came home, and so I said, "All right, I'm making burgers and I'm making fries, and I'm making the fries in the air fryer, and I'm grilling the burgers." And while I'm in the middle of it, just doing all the stuff, my wife is making these crab cakes out of mushrooms, the faux crab cakes. So that's like, but it's this lion's mane, which our buddy Matt Strain would love to talk about.
Yeah,
in the middle of it, I just came in, and she just kind of was like, "All right, doing like the bump with me in the kitchen," and just like there's silly things like that that actually matter. And finding those little moments, I have to agree that it's made Jill and I better as a couple, but Jill and I really always have communicated fairly well. So, but now it's also like, okay, now we have 4 kids in the middle of this pandemic. They're going through all different things at different levels. They're all teenagers. They all have different things they're dealing with. One of them. Here's the thing. So we're a blended family. I have 2 kids. One's in high school. One's in middle school down in Scranton. They have like my youngest goes to school every day in person. They have never stopped that.
Wow.
My oldest son from my first marriage, he couldn't handle the hybrid. It was like stressing him out. So because he was worried he was going to catch COVID and give it to like his grandmother. So he's fully remote. Our daughter goes to a school in New York State where we live, fully remote. My son goes to college, all on campus, but all their classes are remote on campus because the college cannot miss out on that room and board money. Yeah, it's like just this whole smorgasbord of things we have to work through on top of us. Like, we both work in our living room. So like this spring, I'll be redoing an attic space just so I have an office space so I can do conference calls. And it's also going to be like a broadcasting space. So I'm not sitting in my living room with my Master Chief thing will be going up with me though. But still. Yeah, it's made us be able to work in a space together, which is not something before that I had because while my company had a fairly liberal work from home policy, I was expected to be on site. But my job is an hour away from where I live and an hour opposite of where my kids live. So, yeah, lots of driving cut down. My car is 3 years old. When I bought it, I had 40,000 miles on it. 162 now.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it's but the idea of just trying to be able to navigate this. My wife has always worked from home with her job. She's been working there for 5 years, so that's not new for her. But she does get to get out of the house and go do inspections at farms and stuff. Whereas I had a little bit of a breakdown last week because I was like, the only place I have gone has been to grocery shop, maybe shop for some other things like electronics or things we need, and pick up my kids. That has been it. I haven't seen my side of the family since December of 2019 because they're all immunocompromised. So it's like I have nowhere to go. And Greg knows I'm an extrovert. I need people to go talk to and do things, and I can't do any of that. Greg, you're the same way as me, I think.
Yeah.
This is why this stream has kept us alive.
Yeah.
I have to say it's been really great. And I want to say, Rebecca, thank you really so much for being on here because talking about something like hemp, which doesn't get a lot of coverage. It's always weed and people not understanding that hemp and weed can be 2 different entities and CBD is different than weed. And just, it's been great to have you kind of delineate that and give us a better perspective on those kind of things.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I think what folks are trying to do that are in that space is get people to say cannabis because cannabis covers all of it. And there's such a negative connotation with the word marijuana that we're just trying to get people to say cannabis. And like, this is the best present Carrie got me. You see it? The Cannabis Encyclopedia. Look at that thing. That
thing looks like an alien Venus flytrap.
Doesn't it? Yes. It's nuts. It's the best. And like the history of cannabis, I mean, it goes so far back as a medicinal healing plant. That's just, I feel like, been hidden from us. Like, people need to understand how important this plant is for healing and health purposes.
Yes. And this is why, this is my biggest thing about Barack Obama, is that he did not change marijuana from Schedule A to Schedule C, or is the other way around. You know what I'm talking about, Rebecca,
Yeah.
where you move it to a point to where scientists can work on it. And again, that is the big thing that people who are against cannabis and marijuana have, which is what are the scientific blah blah blah. Well, motherfuckers, we haven't really given it any chance because we haven't let our scientists talk about it because you bitches put it on whatever. So now we can't even deal with that. On top of, like, we could spend a whole hour or so talking about how all that, you know, hinders the recreational and the marijuana business because they can't move the money, and there's just so many limitations on what they can do, even legally, even in Colorado. I don't care, Rebecca. We need to take a vacation together in Colorado.
Hell yeah. I mean, Michigan even has it. We don't even need to go, like, but I mean, I love Colorado. But we, I mean, so the hemp co-op, one of the things I'm trying to help them do is get an online store just so they can sell their products online. And it's impossible. There are companies that will work with you, but you have to prove that you have a sales history, or they, you know, like, you have to prove that you're already selling shit online and that you're going to be a no risk customer, essentially, that will make Square or whoever, Shopify, money. But if you don't have a product yet, except fucking CBD, they're like, oh, there's no sales history, bye. And it's like, how?
Like the idea. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm done. It was just how.
Somebody say you need to have experience to have this job, but we're not going to give you that experience.
Right. Exactly. That's what I said too. I said that too. I'm like, God, it's like interviewing for a job, and they're like, oh, you need more experience. It's like, well, how the fuck am I going to get it if you don't hire me? Yeah, I said the exact same thing. So, and there are businesses out there that deal with high risk companies like hemp companies and hemp CBD, and they charge you out the ass to get you in to a Shopify or Square or Squarespace, whatever the fuck. And it's just not fair. It's not fair because these are like salt of the earth farmers trying to do this to supplement their income. And there's all these barriers for them. And the people I'm working for, they're certified fucking organic, which is hard to do. And there's a bunch of them. It's not just one farm. It's all their farms are certified organic. So they've done all this due diligence, all this extra work to do it right. And we still can't get an online company to work with us.
No, and don't get me started on politics. These people will make you want to choke them out on both fucking sides, especially today with the $15 minimum wage. Don't get me started. But I'll stick on hemp here real quick. I'll let you. My point is that this should be a non-partisan thing. Right? People should be cool with the small businesses and supporting small businesses like they say they fucking want to, and they support businesses. No, they just support big corporations. They don't support small businesses. And then you have the left here who says that we're for marijuana and we're but no one will get together and just say, hey, this shit should be legal. This shit we should have scientists work on it. Hell, have scientists work on it. Joe Biden, I love you, man. I love you so much. You're doing a really good job. You're only in there for 30 days, but soon you need to start looking at this marijuana legislation, and I'm going to start screaming and hollering about it on social media, because for me, I know Rebecca's in the hemp part. For me, as far as the Black community goes, you guys have used these marijuana laws to beat us over the head as a fucking society, as a community, and all that. And all the people that are in jail for this, and the disproportionality of Black people who get strung in for marijuana, and white people who smoke it, if not more than Black people, as much as Black people don't get the same scrutiny. Y'all motherfuckers need to change this, and y'all need to work on it. Joe, I'm giving you again. You got COVID. You got the stupid fucking Q people. You got all kinds of shit you got to clean up, and that's great. But I'm giving you a couple more months, brother. And then once this COVID, you better start working on this. I'm gonna start screaming because I know that your vice president was running around during the primary saying that she wanted it done. If you value her opinion, you will start listening to her, and you're gonna get this done. Thank you, Joe. Cool. Anyway, Joe.
Well, and so there's one other thing I'm going to say about this that's kind of interesting. So there is a new product out in the market that is technically THC, and it's called Delta 8, and it is flying off the shelves. It does have psychoactive effects, and it is not illegal, but it's not legal. It's just not written anywhere what this is classified as. I'm sure it will get classified as illegal at some point, but it's flying off the shelves here in dispensaries in Wisconsin and everywhere. And if y'all haven't tried it and you're into cannabis, give it a go.
What was it called again?
It's Delta 8.
Delta 8.
Okay. Yeah, we bought some at Quality CBD here in Madison, and yeah, it made us feel pretty high. Oh, here it is.
Oh,
it looks like it comes in a container. It looks like pomade would come in, but yeah.
These are gummies. Oh, don't mind if I do.
So what's funny is in New York State, that's not legal. We're supposed
Delta 8?
We're supposed to be super liberal, and when it comes to weed, not at all.
Really?
Yeah, now Cuomo, who's in a lot of hot water.
You just said a bad
so
word.
much hot water.
You just said a bad word.
A lot of hot water for very valid reasons.
It's true.
But for some reason, he has just never gotten on board with weed and stuff like that. I don't understand it. But
fucking people, man.
Rebecca, we're gonna let you go. Otherwise,
we're gonna go.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! It's
I'm not gonna touch the promo shit. I'm not gonna touch.
We have a little bit of an after show. If you want to stick around, we'll be happy to do that.
I promise I won't touch the promo shit. Being good.
He will. Yeah. Watch out.
No, you brought it up. You almost.
Sorry, it's my fucking governor, and I got to deal with this nonsense.
Oh my God, he's a mess. He's such a hot mess. Anyway,
Scott Walker.
Wait, hold on. Wait, you said Cuomo?
I thought that's who you were.
No, punk ass bitches from the right call me Fredo. My name is Chris Cuomo. I'm an anchor on CNN.
You're much.
Fredo is from The Godfather. He was that weak brother.
Isn't that your
and
brother?
And they use it as an Italian aspersion. Any of you Italian? Are you Italian? It's a fucking insult to your people. It's an insult to your fucking people. It's like the N-word for us. Wow. Is that a cool fucking thing?
You're a much more reasonable guy in person than you seem to be on television.
Yeah, but if you want to play, then we'll fucking play. If you've got something you want to say about what I do on television, then say it. But don't call me a fucking insult.
Hey, listen.
What?
I don't want any problems.
Yeah, you're going to have a big fucking problem.
What's the
It's
problem?
a little different on TV. Don't fucking insult me like that.
I didn't insult you.
You call me Fredo. It's like I call you punk bitch. You like that? You want that to be your nickname?
I didn't call you that.
You called me Fredo. You know my name's not fucking Fredo.
I thought your name was.
You did not think my name was fucking Fredo. Don't be a liar. You want to be a man, stand up like a man.
I'm standing up, man.
You want to be a man, I'm here. Then fucking own it. Then own what you said.
Hey.
Then own what you said.
Listen, man, I don't have a problem with you, man.
Yeah, you're going to have a fucking problem.
What? What are you going to do about it?
I'll fucking ruin your shit. I'll fucking throw you down these stairs like a fucking punk.
Please do.
Why, so you can fucking sue? So you can fucking sue?
Well, why don't you do it?
Go take a swing. You want to call me Fredo? Take a fucking swing. Take a fucking swing. Watch your fucking hands. Take a swing. Watch your fucking hands. Take a swing. No, come on, boy. Come on, boy. You want to call me shit? Call me shit then. I'm right fucking here. I'll fucking wreck your shit. I'll fucking wreck your shit.
Stop.
You didn't know what you were doing when you called me Fredo?
I thought it was your name, man. I thought it was your name.
You didn't know, right? Hey, you didn't know what you were saying, right?
I thought it was his name.
I'm breaking it up.
This is my body. Hey, look at all these cameras. You're in for it. You're in for it.
I'm in for what? You call me fucking Fredo?
You're in for it.
You call me Fredo?
God.
Okay. That was great. I don't know what the fuck.
What the hell did I just
we
watch? What is it with these videos and everyone just repeating themselves like again and again and again? It's just like the crazy is out of control.
Oh no.
Is he anything like his brother off the line?
He
Rebecca?
did a very, very non-committal apology for his brother. Yeah.
I'm not sure what to do if that was your brother, though. I'm not sure how. I'm not the fucking Cuomo.
Hey.
Rebecca, it's been awesome. We need to have you back soon.
Yeah, anytime.
Thank you for explaining hemp. Thank you for making our show better because Doug and I are just worse.
You guys are great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Rebecca.
What'd you say?
Yeah, Doug, what'd you say?
No, I was just saying thank you.
Cool. Rebecca, see you soon. We'll see Carrie sooner.
Rebecca,
see you soon. Thank you for coming on, and we'll see. We got to have you back in the fall.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
For sure, we need to have you back, and you and your husband as well. It'll be that would be fun to have you both on at once. If that,
I don't know, Doug. I don't know if you saw during pre-production. Carrie had a guitar, and he looked like he was trying to set up or something.
He has two guitars in here. Like there's another one right here.
Maybe we'll get a post-production show or something.
Serenade.
So he has this electric guitar, and he would just sit in here when he was stressing, and he would strum it. But you can't really hear it. So I was like, why don't you get an acoustic guitar? So when you're stressing out and you're playing guitar, I can like hear it and be like, oh, that's pretty. So he did.
I don't know. That's pretty sexy to have somebody that can play guitar for you.
He can sing too. I try to get him to sing and play guitar every once in a while. He'll get all insecure and be like, "No, I suck."
Look at you dropping bombs about Lakefront Carrie. I bet you people don't do that about Lakefront
that
Carrie.
whole "I suck" thing. That's me writing. So yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, he's very like insecure about everything, and he's just so great.
He is great. And you know what? Like, I already told him, like, I know he's on like his third job after Lakefront, but to me, he's always going to be Lakefront Carrie. Like, I'm sorry. It's just
he's been trying to break that, Greg. Thanks a lot.
No, but it's not a bad thing.
Call him something else. We just call him.
He represented that
place.
Just
call him Care Bear. Call him Care Bear.
Care Bear.
He represented that place really well.
He did.
And he did a good job doing that. So, like, to me, it's absolutely a hats off thing, like, dude. And he was around when I was like finding beer, and again, I was following him to like help beer when I went to like Isthmus Beer and Cheese Festival.
Yeah,
like he made sure that I got what I got. He made sure I got the Black Friday. Again, he's just love it. Anyway,
carries the shit. Carries the shit.
You already know.
I know, but he's humble and
you knew before I did. Damn it.
And he knows so much. So interesting little tidbit about Carrie that I just learned is that he's probably gonna be so pissed I'm mentioning this. This came out one night when we were just like chilling on the couch and just talking. We have weird conversations now because we're together all the time, so we're like getting weird with our convos. But he's like, I really like old-timey movies. I grew up watching them, like from like old-timey movies. And I was like, what? We've never watched an old-timey movie. But it's like something he did with his grandfather. And it's like this really cute bonding thing with his grandparents. And I was like, dude, I didn't know that. I love that.
Cool.
COVID.
How long you guys been together?
So our wedding... This year's our 5-year wedding anniversary, but we've been together 7 years.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's been 7 years together. You're still learning things. It's wonderful.
I know. It's so great.
Awesome. See you on the other side, Rebecca.
Bye. Good night.
Bye, Rebecca.
Yay! Another great stream. I will pat myself on the back for that was my guest.
Yeah.
Doug, I have to because again. Oops.
And now it sounds like you're in a cave.
I have to because again, you've been bringing it as far as these guests go, and it's just great. Let's see. If you've seen WandaVision, I want commentary. No, but I need.
I watched the first episode, but I may have been overserved when I watched it, so I don't know exactly what happened. So I've heard great.
No spoilers.
Yeah, I've heard great.
I've heard great things. I heard you have to go through the first couple ones though. Is that true?
Because it's so apparently it's so offbeat and so different that you really kind of give it a chance.
Well, and also Doug got me on to The Expanse last week, so I still need to I need to do that. So then this is the part of the show we talk about the beers that we had. I had 2 Giant Jones beers today. The barley wine, in my opinion, is not that the Grand Stout is not good, but the barley wine is just amazing. Dave Rogers, I owe you some beers. You need to have some Giant Jones, buddy. So I'm gonna get some Giant Jones. I don't have any. Actually, those were my last Giant Jones, so I'm gonna have to hit them up soon. But Dave Rogers, I'm gonna get you some Giant Jones. Maybe it'll be at home.com. Maybe I'll send you some out. But and Daniel Fisher needs some Giant Jones too. I'm pretty sure he hasn't had any. But yeah, barley wine over the Grand Stout, both are fantastic. What you had tonight, Doug? You had some crazy ass.
Excuse me. Let's start there.
Nothing old. Right, not that it's old, Dave, but this is something I know you haven't had, and it's something that you should. How about that?
Yeah. So
same with Daniel.
Carrot cake beer. Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't carrot cake.
Jesus Christ. Sorry. So the carrot cake beer tasted nothing like carrot cake. Had the cinnamon. There was lactose.
Do you like carrot cake?
What's that?
Do you like carrot cake?
Sometimes if it's well made.
Gotcha.
Jesus Christ. Like, what is going on? So second place was the Evil Twin, which was the blueberry donut.
Yeah.
All right. I like their Imperial Stout. I've been great stream stuff here. I'm about ready to sneeze 8,000 times. So yeah, that was.
Are you allergic to carrot cake?
No, I'm not. That's the thing. Just all of a sudden, all the sneezes came up on me. This was really surprisingly good. The chai whoopie pie brown ale, I'm not a big fan of chai, but it was on the nose. It was a nice ending part to it with the whoopie pie, the chocolate whoopie pie taste.
He's gonna make it.
Really, really good.
You gonna make it, Doug?
What's that?
You gonna make it?
Yeah. Sorry, I was had things going on there.
I don't know. Carrie's asking, not me.
No, I am. I'll be fine.
All right, Doug. Well, do you want to explain why you won't be here next week, or we can just let it go?
Next week I am next Friday at 2:30. I will be getting the second dose of the Pfizer vaccine, which
otherwise known as the Fauci ouchie.
The Fauci ouchie, which I got the first shot two Fridays ago, and my arm hurt like a motherfucker for a few days. But otherwise, no ill effects. But I've heard some people have had some really
Pfizer.
Yeah, the Pfizer vaccine. Yeah. I don't know about the other ones, but the Pfizer vaccine had the
Moderna.
The Moderna. The second dose has been somewhat challenging, where for like a day or two you feel like you have a really bad flu.
Yes.
So next Friday I'm off just to not, because I don't want to drink if I'm going to be dealing with symptoms.
No, so, you don't want any obligations. Lady just got her second Moderna 2 days ago. She missed work yesterday, and she's still kind of kind of. So
that's why I'm off next week, and thankfully Casey will be involved and welcome back our Canadian brother to the fold, because he's been away because Clubhouse has been occupying all his time.
Yeah, Clubhouse and his book, and we're gonna jump into all that next week. Casey's gonna have explanations. and he's going to have some questions about us Americans, and we will have a mystery guest, or one, or two, or three, or maybe even four. I explained it to our mystery guest, like it's a subject, like Doug is Doug's leaving, and it's like that party that you have when you're in high school when your parents leave. All hell is going to break loose.
Oh, you guys go all over the place. Listen, right. I might be sick, but I might be just sitting here watching it, just enjoying the show. So it'll be great.
Right. I said in the context, like Doug is like holding the show back as like a parent. It's so not true. But it's just more about like when I go away, my family eats at different, like, so I'll go on a road trip and then I'll come back and I'll be like, oh, we ate at all these new cool places when you weren't around. Motherfuckers, what happens when I am around? Like, what the fuck?
I'm down to eat at new places. What are you doing?
Right. So that's kind of like, I'm like, damn, Doug's not gonna be around. Let's have a variety show. Let's have a toga party. I don't know. It's just fucked up.
Oh yeah.
So Doug, we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I don't know who we have in 2 weeks, so let's just find this out right now. Actually, in 2 weeks. Oh, in 2 weeks we have our friend Steve Smith, Doug, who is a gamer. He is the other part of Matt Clark's.
Yeah, he's part of that crowd.
Yes. So we're gonna talk gaming, and we'll get to the bottom of all the Xbox fucking problems and the fucking
it's not just Xbox, PS5's problems too. So yeah.
No, right. The PS5, Xbox, it's all a goddamn mess at this point because people still can't get the consoles, and it's just crazy. So, Doug, cheers to you, and hopefully a good recovery with that Fauci ouchie. I mean, it's gonna, you just gotta have a day, and that's fine. But it really has though. Like whether it's Pfizer or Moderna, we've been hearing nothing but like the next day it's just problems for whoever. Good immune system, bad immune system, old, young. It really hits you. So I'm glad that you were proactive about this, and it's cool that Casey's going to be here, and I've gotten numerous questions about where Casey is and all that. So it's great to so take care of yourself, and we'll see you soon.
All right, brother. Thank you.